We're in Snake in the Netherlands and we're at Jetten Yachting to test this. This being the 50 MPC Fly. Now this boat was launched at Dusseldorf. There's a regular wheelhouse version and there's this Fly version which we're going to test today. And like there's two body shapes, there's also two engine options. There's a slow boat engine option. This one's got twin 170 horsepower Deutz, good for about 11 knots. And then there's an offshore version with a sort of they call it a super displacement hull, twin 380 horsepower Cummins, and that's going to do about 16 knots flat out. So on a day like today in this gorgeous weather, it's when the Fly version of this boat really comes into its own. This is where you want to be. You've got a lovely cool breeze in your face. It's very, very quiet. I mean, it's a quiet boat anyway, but obviously you're that bit further away from the commotion that's going on down there. And it's a very, very sociable layout as well. When you're going along for extended cruises, especially on the waterways, which this particular boat is sort of accustomed to, you have all your crew sitting around you, so you can talk to them very easily, and the skipper is very much part of the action. The helm station is extremely simple, but it works brilliantly, especially, you know, this is the slow boat version, but everything really falls to hand very easily. I've got a fantastic view of the plotter, and you have these smaller controls here which you can operate the plotter with, or of course it's pinch and zoom as well. I love the fact that it's centrally located, so especially when you stand up you can see pretty much every corner of the boat, and it's very, very neatly laid out. Everything's very, very clear. I really like this switch system that Jetten use. You haven't got a big ugly panel of black rocker switches that take up loads of space. Nice little compact row of switches here, and they control absolutely everything from the interior lights, VHF, horn, all from here. Something else I really like about the Flybridge is this sort of canvas T-top. Many boats would have a hard T-top here. This is an option on this boat, but this canvas one I think looks really good, and also it keeps weight down. You don't really want weight this high up on the boat. Obviously this is a nice light structure, and you can also fully enclose the Flybridge with covers too. The interior of the 50 feels really nice actually. I love the use of materials and wood, nice bit of white leather here, white countertops. The walnut looks great. There is the choice to have glossier cherry wood if you want, but personally I'd stick with this slightly more modern tone. And there's some nice touches too, like this table, which extends like that, very quick, very simple and very easy. And the layout itself is quite interesting as well, because you have this really cool split galley. It's not really a layout I've seen before, where you have sort of two countertops which you can access very easily from the table, but then of course you can get yourself in between the galley as well, which means you can sort of hold yourself in if you're out at sea, and it also gives you an extra bit of countertop. Works really nicely. So down the companionway steps into the accommodation deck. I like the fact that they've bothered to sort of put these leather strips down here. Could be a lot of plain wood, but it's a bit more interesting. Nice chrome switches as well. And they've even thought to put a hatch up in the roof here, which keeps it nice and light in the daytime. In terms of accommodation, you have your VIP. This is behind me, and it has a split bathroom and shower. And then to port, this is a Pullman cabin on this boat and a little study, but you can also have just a bunk cabin if you want it. But the real star of the show is the master cabin, which is amidships. We saw the hull of this boat earlier on, the bare hull, and you can see the depth in it. Steel boats, they're so inherently strong, they don't rely quite so heavily on cross members to help with reinforcing the strength of the hull, which means that they can build really deep down into it, which is why, on this little journey down the stairs, I haven't had to duck once, because there's so much headroom here. You know, bear in mind I'm about 6 foot, there's still headroom above the bed, loads of headroom where you get changed, so very, very impressive, spacious cabin. Great layout too, I love the angle of the bed. You have a walk-in wardrobe with full standing headroom, which is impressive for a 15-metre boat. The only thing I don't really like is the fact that you haven't got much natural light coming in. Those look like big windows, but they aren't getting too much light into this cabin, and actually the walk-in wardrobe does sort of cut this window in half, so you're relying a bit more on artificial light. But it does have a very nice ensuite, again very spacious, and a separate shower cubicle. As part of the design of this boat, Jetten has managed to increase this fantastic utility area. Really, really big for storing your cruising gear, but it also has the washing machine, it's got the water maker, batteries, it's got the steering system which you have excellent access to, but really its main purpose is for storage, which is an excellent asset. And then you also have really good engine access via this watertight door. You can get between the engines really easily. Fantastic service facilities on board this boat. MPC stands for multi-purpose cruiser, and that's really what this boat is. You can have it with a Flybridge, without a Flybridge, single engine, twin engine, for inshore, offshore, and I really like the fact that they will sort of mould a boat for whatever your tastes are. And the other nice thing is that it looks like a looks like a fiberglass boat, but it still has all the inherent quality of a steel boat. It feels solid, it weighs 25 tons, but you have the looks and you have the on-board feeling of a fiberglass boat. It really is the best of both worlds.